we are unpacking some of the other issues that come out when it comes to the discussion document. And the economy is our focus when we look at it. And of course, we've seen, broadly speaking, there have been some green shoots in our economy, looking at coming off the Financial Action Task Force grey list, as well as the S&P Global upgrading then our rating as well as our outlook. So just some of the positivities that have come out. And of course, when we look as we head into the festive season, we're seeing that consumer confidence, of course, is showing a bit of a lift there. But to help us unpack then, of course, what this all means then in terms of growth, as well as jobs for people, an issue that comes up in this discussion document, when we look then at the structural issues that are still holding us back. Of course, I'm joined now by economist Miyelani Mkhabela. Miyelani, thank you so much for your time this afternoon. So, of course, when we look at this document, the discussion document coming out here, let us talk maybe, or let's start then broadly looking at the economy. There's always this talk about this, the gap between policy as well as implementation. Just from your perspective, give us sort of an overview then. What are your initial thoughts?
Yeah, so I will start by indicating that the economy is improving very well, starting to be resilient. We have seen the inflation targeting that has been implemented. That is the agreement between the Minister of Finance and Central Bank Governor. And then they have come up with like 1 to 3% inflation targeting +1, which in the last we have cut the repo rate, which it shows the value of having a lower inflation targeting. And immediately when we have a lower inflation targeting, it will assist in booming economic activity. And I think that is one element. And when you look as well on the issue of fiscal policy, you start to see an integration of our fiscal policy and monetary policy coordination, which that will result positively to the economy. The global economy is starting to see the South African economy differently. We hosted the G20, but over and above that, S&P has upgraded us, and which is the view of global asset managers in the global market. And I think that contribute in indicating that invest in this economy because your yields will be achieved. And I think it is like one part that I can as well indicate. There is a layer of economic policy implementation because inflation targeting has been implemented, and then that was really a shift for our economy. The last time it was reviewed, it was started in around 2001, 2002, and then it is reviewed now. So you look at that as a move that speaks to the current economy and the global economy and how things are expected to go.
One of the other sectors that I wanted to touch on is energy and logistics. Of course, we're seeing some work there. The work continues there. We've been hearing, of course, from the Transport Minister, and even the miners themselves are showing there's a bit of positivity coming in when it comes to the work that we're seeing at the SOEs, Eskom, as well as Transnet. Maybe give us your take then in terms of the work that is happening there, what we're seeing, and how much that is driving, of course, growth in the economy.
I think the Minister of Energy or the Minister of Electricity, the chairperson of Eskom and the CEO of Eskom, I think in different platforms you will have seen that they are getting a very positive outlook in terms of their leadership, and I think that it is a sign of what they are doing. So that leadership, it is doing well at solving this electricity challenge. And then we have seen as well the restoration of some of the smelters and as well some of the plants that were not used, and that has added in our energy availability factor, which that contribute in the industrialization and as well, industrialization and other critical sectors that are in the economy, which I believe that continuing with energy at this trajectory, it will really add so much to the South African economy. While on the other side, when you look on logistics, connectivity, ports, and a supply chain efficiencies, I think we are doing very well already as a country. We have seen that the Minister of Transport has been covering, doing a lot of other things, and then they have as well started to do what we can say a master plan or a ports master plan that is gonna unlock our economy. So when you look on the Singapore economy, you look at as well Qatar economy, and then you look as well at Dubai economy. Critically, it's unlocking the ports, the terminals, but at the same time connecting it well with manufacturers that can lead into efficiencies in supply chain. And South Africa has that advantage because of we are having a good center. We have Durban, we have Eastern Cape, and then we have Cape Town ports that can coordinate very well. But we need massive investment to be plugged into that so that we get that rolling. But if we add that only, you could see that the GDP per capita and the GDP of Singapore is bigger than as well countries that have 10 million population. They are just 5.6 million population.
Sure.
And their efficiencies in education, their efficiencies in innovation, you look at manufacturing, and at the same time, working with other countries, they are doing well because they are not focusing only on their economy. And that's what South Africa must do as well. You look on the biggest port all over the world, Singapore, China, and Japan have the bigger ports. The 5 bigger ports are at your Singapore, China, and Japan. And South Africa need to invest much in ports, because the policy is there, investing in ports and then unlock the economy so that we can create jobs. When ports are working well, transport cost will be lower, and as a result, we'll receive products earlier instead of waiting for 60 days.
Okay.
We can start to have efficiencies that are making economic activity and consumption to be booming. And as well, that chain will be a chain that will be having a lot of people, young people, women, and people with disabilities to be employed in different stakes. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Miyelani. Unfortunately, we're going to have to leave it there, but thank you so much for giving us that analysis and, of course, those examples. That was economist Miyelani Mkhabela just talking to us about some of the economic issues that are discussed in this discussion document.